Hello and welcome to ProTrain's PSP Certification Review course. You're watching this video, it means you want to be a PSP certified professional. You might have either subscribed to our PSP review course or you may be considering to do so. I am Ashutosh Maurya, I am your course trainer. I have helped hundreds of aspiring PSP candidates all around the world, starting from North, South Americas, Middle East, India, Australia, to successfully achieve PSP certification. Before we get into this lecture, let me highlight one important thing to you guys. This lecture is going to be a long lecture, a long video, half an hour plus long. Even though watching long video can be boring, and in modern days of social media, our attention or focus span is substantially reduced, and it is difficult for anyone to watch videos say longer than 10 minutes. However, when it comes to certification like PSP and other certifications, it requires lot of attention, focus and hard work. Therefore, if you want to benefit from this video, watch this video till the end. It may happen that you are watching this video while doing some other work, or you just found this video on social media. In that case, I would sincerely suggest that you save or bookmark this video for watching when you have dedicated time of around 1 hour or so. With that note, let's get started. Let's quickly see what we are going to cover in this lecture. In this lecture, we are going to cover 3 fundamental questions related to planning and scheduling professional or PSP certification. The first question is, what is expected from you in terms of knowledge and competency when it comes to PSP certification? The second question which we'll answer in this video is, what benefits you should gain after achieving this certification? And third and the final question is, how to be a PSP certified professional? To give answer to all these 3 questions, we have structured this video into topics of what is planning and scheduling, what is PSP certification, who are AACE International, PSP certification details such as eligibility criteria, how to register for exam, and so on. We will also take a couple of sample PSP questions in this video as well. At the end of the video, we will talk about PSP certifications, frequently asked questions. With this introduction, let's get started. Let us start our lecture with how AACE International defines planning and scheduling. If you are new to AACE International, we will talk you further details about them in a moment. So let's see what project planning is. AACE International defines project planning as determination of project objective with identification of activities to be performed, method and resources to be used for accomplishing the task, assignment of responsibility and accountability, and establishing an integrated plan to achieve completion as required. So these definitions comes from skills and knowledge of cost engineering book, which is issued by AACE International, and we are talking about 6th edition of this book. So if you carefully read this definition, you will find 2 important elements of planning, and these elements are we have underlined them. First is identification of project objectives, and second is making plans to achieve them. Therefore, the whole idea of project planning broadly moves around these 2 elements. First is decide what you want to do, decide project objectives, and then make a plan to achieve them. This is all about project planning in a nutshell. When we do the project planning, we have several steps involved in that. So let's see what are the steps we have. The first step is setting objective, So that is what we discussed in a moment before in a definition, that the first step is setting project objective, then making plan to achieve that, and then work on the plan. So the second element or the second step of planning involves gathering information in order to make a plan. Then the third is determining feasible alternative plans. So when you are gathering information, then you have various alternatives to achieve the project objective. So this is the step number 3. Step number 4, as we go along, is choosing the best alternative. So in the step 4, we are going to choose one of the best alternative which is on our table. Step 5 is communicating the plan. Step 6 is implementing the plan. Step 7 is adjusting the plan. And final step is reviewing the plan effectiveness. So we can take a small example to understand that. Say you want to develop a hospital of, say, 1,000 bed hospital in any part of the world. Assume that you want to make a hospital in India. So what will be the objective? Your objective will be to develop 1,000 beds hospital. And then you are going to gather information. You are going to have a lot of information to be gathered, First of all, which city the hospital to be developed, who will be your design consultant, and so many things, So I'm keeping the example as brief as possible. And then you will work out with, you are going to have, feasible alternatives. So you can develop the hospital in Delhi, you can develop the hospital in Mumbai, and so on. And after that, you are going to have a best alternative. You are going to run your numbers, cash flows, you are going to run the best accessibility, and so on. And then you will freeze your plans. And then you are not the person who is going to deliver the project alone, and there will be a project team who will be delivering the project. So you are going to do what? You are going to communicate your plan to team who is going to help you to deliver the project. Then you will start implementing the plan. In order to implement the plan, you will have contractor on board, you have consultant on board, and all those. Then as you go along, you are going to adjust the plan. You might become into a situation where you have to adjust the plan. Maybe your budget is not, you are not getting enough funding. So you are going to reduce the hospital bed, say, from 1,000 to 700 or something. And then as you go along in plan implementation, you are going to review the effectiveness of the plan. So is that best technology available to deliver the project, or how we can improve the effectiveness of our project delivery. So these are 8 steps defined by AACE International when it comes to the project planning. So that was one of the definition of project planning we talked about, and the various steps of the project planning. Now we have one more definition of project planning, which is little more objective, and this definition comes from TCM framework. A management or control sub-process that consists of defining a scope, establishing baseline or targets against which the work performance can be measured. In strategic asset management, integrated asset project plans for cost, schedule, resources are established. All plans should address risk. So this is basically one of the definition, one more definition of planning, which is again coming from AACE, and it is defined in a TCM framework. If you are new to TCM framework, hold for a while, and we will talk about TCM framework in later part of this lecture. This definition talks about setting up baselines against which project or asset performance is measured. Hope you are not confused within these two definitions. They are almost talking the same thing, but the point of views are different. The first definition, what we talked about, was talking about planning from a project standpoint of view. So in that, you set objective of the project and make plan to make plans to deliver the project. Where in this definition, we are talking about a strategic asset management point of view. Now, This is one of the areas which need our better understanding in terms of looking at project point of view and strategic asset point of view. However, keeping this lecture objective as introductory to the PSP certification, at the highest and simplified level, planning is all about making certain assumptions and making roadmap to perform activities in future. So this is all about planning. Additionally, when we get into details of planning, after approval, project planning ultimately concludes with implementation of project controls through the development of a detailed critical path schedule and related deliverables. Other key component of planning process for construction that need to be understood is logistics planning and planning documentation as well. So this is how the TCM framework described the planning process. Now, if you are new to TCM framework stands for Total Cost Management Framework, which is AACE International Cost Management Framework documents that talks about how to manage cost from a strategic asset point of view. Probably just knowing that TCM framework is one of the documents issued by AACE International is good enough when it comes to planning and scheduling professional certification, as this document talks more about cost management framework from asset standpoint. Planning and scheduling is subset of the whole TCM process. However, if you are interested to know more about TCM framework, then you can log into AACE's international website, and as a member you can download this document for free. Now let's get back to our topic of planning and scheduling. Let me emphasize one more important thing here. While term planning and scheduling are used interchangeably in day-to-day capital project management professional life, but they are not the same. Scheduling is part of planning process which comes under project controls. Now let us understand what is scheduling. Scheduling is the process that converts project plan into roadmap. That, if followed, will ensure that the timely project completion is achieved. Scheduling is one of the tools for monitoring and controlling projects to ensure that objective of cost, quality and time are met. Now, while scheduling is related to time only, however, it has got direct relation with cost and quality. For example, if the project schedule is extended, this means that it will lead to additional cost on account of overhead and other fixed costs. Similarly, if the project schedule is unreasonably compressed, then it will have impact on project quality because you will not have adequate time to deliver the required level of quality. Similarly, in addition to the schedule being a baseline, schedule also provides a baseline against which the progress is measured. When we say baseline against which the progress is measured, we are referring to project control phase of the project. Schedule are also used to assess time impact of changes to the work scope as well. Again, when we talk about time impact of the changes, then we are referring to change management and claim management, processes of the project. So with this, we are at end of this section now. In this section of the video, we talked about what is planning and scheduling. In the next section of video, we will talk about what is PSP certification and its guiding principles. Planning and Scheduling Professional PSP certification is globally recognized certification in planning and scheduling domain. The certification is highly recognized in North and South Americas, in Middle East and other part of the world. If you are a PSP certified, your employer will believe that you have skills and knowledge and experience to perform planning and scheduling activities in complex and large project environment. Needless to say, this certification helps you getting better job opportunities and salary in project planning, scheduling and control domains. Let's see what AACE International states about PSP certification. As per AACE International, a PSP is a skilled planning and scheduling professional with advanced experience in project planning and developing and monitoring, updating, forecasting and analyzing integrated project schedules. PSP leads the planning and scheduling process within the AACE Total Cost Management Framework or TCM framework. PSP is able to communicate effectively with all project stakeholders both internally and externally. So this is how AACE International sets the bar for PSP certification. And the statement on the screen here, sets the guiding principle for PSP certification as well, which we'll understand throughout this course of the video. PSP certification programs give professionals a means to validate their skills and knowledge to international professional practices standard in domain of project planning and scheduling. This certification will distinguish you as planning and scheduling professional who has knowledge and skills. Those are required to ensure that project time objectives are met. AACE International's PSP certification provides an exam and experience validation that lets employers identify who meets the competency standards of program management. Now I am 20 plus years into capital project management industry. Like any other professional in the industry, I started my career with giving interviews and seeking better career opportunities. Until I became senior, and now I recruit professionals and make recommendations for their job selections. We get so many CVs in this process. Let me very specifically tell you, if I see a CV of someone having PSP certification, this means to me that I will amply be assured that the candidate has in-depth knowledge on planning and scheduling. Several times we find CVs of professionals having good experience on the CV in terms of having worked in big projects. Sometimes we get CV of professional having good software experience like Primera or MS Project. However, if I get a CV of a candidate having PSP certifications, it assures me that he would have great knowledge on fundamentals of planning and scheduling, and he has implemented the same. So we come at the end of this section now. In this section, we talked about PSP certification in detail. In the next section, we'll talk about who are AACE International. Before we talk more about PSP certification, eligible requirement, testing criteria and all, let's talk about who are AACE International. AACE International stands for Association of Advancement of Cost Engineering. It was founded in 1956. AACE International is knowledge leader in field of cost management. AACE has 8,500 plus members around 100 countries. AACE offers several professional certifications. AACE is dedicated to promote the concept of total cost management. AACE has comprehensive knowledge repository on cost management, schedule management, delay analysis techniques, risk management, and so on. If you're coming from capital project background, AACE knowledge base can be highly useful to you. We would highly recommend you to join AACE International membership. Out of various certifications issued by AACE International, we have found recommended practices or RP the most useful. All these recommended practices and other publications are free and members can download from AACE International website. Recommended practices cover almost all construction, project management, and project controls knowledge areas. Say risk management, delay analysis, planning, scheduling, estimation, cost control, and so on. Recommended practices have been written by a group of highly qualified, experienced, and renowned professionals, and they can be directly implemented into your project. AACE offers various certification. The certification are categorized into 3 levels of level 1 technical level certification, level 2 professional level certification, and level 3 expertise level certification. Under technical level certification, AACE offers 2 certification, and these are certified cost technician and certified scheduling technician certification. We have 4 professional level certification offered by AACE International under professional level certification categories, and these are certified cost professional, which is AACE flagship certification, certified estimation professional, earned value professional, and planning and scheduling professional are PSP certification. The certification we are right now talking about. Under expertise level certification, AACE offers certified forensic claim consultant and decision and risk management professional are DRMP. For further details on each certification, their eligibility requirement, knowledge area coverage, etc., you may visit AACE International website. So now you know who are AACE International. Now it is time to follow more detail on PSP certification. So let's jump to next section of this video and talk about details on PSP certification. Let us understand eligibility requirement of PSP certification to start with. In order to be eligible for PSP certification, you must have at least 8 full years of professional experience, out of which up to 4 years may be substituted by a college or university degree. So, if you have a college or university degree say for 4 years, then you need another 4 years of experience, and so on. Say if you have 3 years degree, then you need 5 years of experience. As simple as that. Prospective candidates ask questions if their degree is good to be eligible, good for eligibility for PSP certification. As per information issued by AACE International, these are the list of related degrees. This includes building construction, engineering, construction technology, business, economics, accounting, construction management, architecture, computer science, mathematics, etc. If you see the list, you will find that any degree which is non-art related, say music or pure art-based degrees or history, all the degrees which are having some mathematical background are accepted to fulfill the eligibility requirement. If in doubt or you need further clarification, you may contact AACE International regarding your certification related queries on mail ID certification@aace.org. You may expect a prompt reply from them. Now let us talk about exam structure. The structure of exam in brief is on the screen now, and we have 120 questions in PSP certification. The exam is 5 hours long. Yes, it is a long exam. There is one memo question and 119 multiple choice question, total making 120 questions. Multiple choice question only has one correct answer. Multiple choice questions are both single and compound type questions. Let's understand what we mean by single and compound type multiple choice question. When they say single type multiple choice question, this means that you will be given a problem statement and there will be 4 answer choices. Out of 4 given answer choices, 1 will be the correct answer. Whereas in compound multiple choice question, you will be given a problem statement, rather a bigger problem statement. Based on given problem statement, you will have n number of multiple choice question, normally 7 to 8. Each multiple choice question under compound questions shall be same as a single type multiple choice question. This means that there will be 4 answer choices. Out of given 4 answer choices, 1 will be the correct answer. To pass the exam, you must meet minimum score requirement of 70%. Exam is delivered through computer-based testing, and exam is conducted by AACE International Testing Contractor Criterion. They have centers in all major cities across the globe, and currently they have started web-based proctoring as well. If you want to know criteria center near to your location or more detail on how web-based proctoring work, you may visit on their website criteriononline.com. Now let us talk about knowledge area and subject matter from which you can expect question in PSP certification. The first topic is project planning processes and its terminologies. It focuses upon project scope definition, work broad structure, resource planning, identification, budgeting to introductory level. Scheduling and tools and technique is a second knowledge area. It covers scheduling models and method. When I say scheduling model, means critical path method or linear scheduling, etc. Schedule development process and procedure, schedule update, introductory level knowledge on delay analysis method. When I say introductory level, means you need to understand type of delay analysis method, delays type, and so on. The third major knowledge area is performance management and reporting, and under which earned value management is comprehensively covered, and also question on project reporting can be expected. Unlike PMI certification like PMP, AACE does not provide how many questions will be asked from each knowledge area. Therefore, from exam standpoint of view, at the time of preparation for PSP certification, all knowledge areas carries equal weightages. Now let's talk about financial investment needed for PSP certification. Indeed, PSP taking a certification is a financial investment because we progressively get the return on those statements over a period in our professional career span. PSP certification examination fee is $500 for member and $625 for non-members. If you fail the exam, a receipt fee of $200 applies. While AACE membership is not required for certification, members receive the benefit of reduced examination fee. Therefore, we recommend to join AACE membership prior to applying for the certification. The membership fee is equal to the difference between the examination fee for members and non-members. Therefore, joining membership also makes an economic case as well. Now let's talk about certification examination steps. These steps are: 1. Open user account. Second step is join AACE membership. It is not must, but as explained earlier, it is highly recommended. Step 3, complete certification application and pay exam fee. So that is what the step 3 is. So in step 3, what you are going to do? You are going to submit all your eligibility documentation, your degree certificate, your experience certificates, etc. Of course, in digital form. on the mail IDs of AACE International, or you need to upload on your website. Presently, you need to upload on their website. Earlier, we used to mail them. So once you upload those documents in the website, AACE International will review your document and you will reach to step 4. If your documents are found to be eligible and fulfilling AACE requirements, you will receive a clearance mail from AACE International. Once you receive the clearance mail, you are going to schedule the exam on Criterion website. So basically, you will be given a code. That code can be applied on Criterion website and you can schedule the exam. So that will be the step number 5. The step number 6 will be take the exam, and step number 7 will be exam results. So this is how the whole exam cycle works. Time and again, students have a question between step 6 and step 7. So there is a exam result issuance cycle by AACE International. So if you, after completion of every cycle, the results are issued. These cycles are normally 3 weeks to 1 month. So suppose you have taken exam at the beginning of cycle, and in another scenario, your friend has taken exam at the end of the cycle. So in both of your cases, your exam will come after the cutoff date of the exam cycle. So sometime we have to wait to receive the exam results. That's all we had on PSP certification, eligibility requirement, testing, exam results, etc. In the next section, we'll take few PSP sample questions and solve them. Let us take some sample question and see if you are up to speed with PSP certification. And the first question appears on your screen now. All of the following describe critical path of the schedule except, and we have answer choices. And these answer choices are A, B, C, D, starting with A, determined by network logic and is the chain of activity that controls the overall project completion time. Now we have answer choice B, that is series of activities having the least amount of total float. Answer choice C, frequently defined as the shortest path through the schedule. And answer choice D, change by redefining the network logic or changing activity duration, or both. So we have 4 answer choices, and as we have mentioned that this is a single type multiple choice question. This means that you are going to have one correct answer. Now let's try to solve this question. The first question, let's read the statement. And while this is a sample and we are going to talk about how to solve such questions in the course in detail, just take a quick look on this, the problem statement. All the following describes the critical path of the schedule except. So there is the word except. When you see the word except, this means that you have to look into the answer choices which are incorrect with respect to what is critical path. So there are 3 answer choices which are defining what is critical path, and there is one answer choice which talks about what is not the critical path, and we have to look for that. So how to solve such problems? Once the exam, you are figuring out what you have to do the exam immediately, you should have your concept very clear, and that concept, should immediately the term critical path, what do you mean by critical path, should flash in your mind. To solve the problem, you may pause the video and work on the problem. Meantime, let me talk about what is critical path. Critical path is the longest path on project network diagram, right? Longest critical path. Depending on the project duration and the contractual duration of the project and the length of the critical path, the total float may be 0. Again, the critical path is having the least float in the CPM network. Right? And then what more is a critical path? It is the longest path. It has got least total float, and the critical path is determined by the network and the relationship of activities. So every time the relationship of activities changes, the critical path will change. So this is how the critical path is, right? So all the concepts should be in back of your mind when you are taking the exam. And let's see now what is the correct answer here. Here we have correct answer in a screen now, and let's see what we have. All of the following describe critical path of schedule except, and the fourth answer is the right answer, right? Because the critical path is the longest path throughout the schedule, not the shortest path. So this statement is wrong, therefore it is the right answer. Other answer choices like, determined by network logic and chain of activities, it defines the critical path. Series of activities having least amount of total float is also the right answer. Change by redefining the network logic or chain of activities duration or both is also right statement when we talk about the critical path. So answer C is the right answer. Let's quickly look at the second question. Let us take our second question, which of the following are generally illustrated by bar chart than network diagram? And the answer choices are logical relationship, critical path, resources trade-off, progress, or status. So we have 4 choices. Again, as I mentioned before, that when you have to solve this problem, the first thing what you are going to have, you are going to think the thing should flash in mind immediately. So what is bar chart and what is network diagram, right? So it should come. So what is bar chart? Bar chart, just imagine what is bar chart. Bar chart is showing the duration of the activity on a timeline, stating start and finish of the activity. Whereas a CPM network diagram, our network diagram shows the various boxes and the relationship of the activities and their lags, etc. So 2 things. And the third thing is when we talk about resources trade-off, there was option of resources trade-off, right? So what is resources trade-off? Have you ever seen the resources on CPM network diagram or bar chart? Probably no. So where you see the resources, you see the resources in resources histograms and S curves. So these are the 3 things immediately should be flashing in your mind in order to solve the problem quickly. And let's see what is the right choice. So the right choice is progress or status, right? So bar chart shows what are the planned activities and what are the actual status. Logical relationships are best shown by the CPM or network diagram. Critical paths are also best shown by CPM or network diagram. Resources trade-offs are best shown on the histograms. So the right choice is progress or status. So these are the 2 questions we had as a sample for PSP certification, right? And with this, we jump to the next section. If you're joining ProTrain PSP review course, you don't need any additional resources other than our course. However, some additional study material and books are recommended by AACE International, which can be useful for preparation of PSP certification. Starting with number 1 is Planning and Scheduling Professional Certification Study Guide. It covers whole curriculum for PSP certification. It also contains few practice questions as well. Note that study guide does not elaborately explain the concept. However, it provides introduction to the whole curriculum in a highly structured way. Therefore, you cannot treat this guide as a comprehensive source or comprehensive textbook for PSP certification. The second resource, and which is highly recommended resource for PSP certification, is AACE International Skills and Knowledge of Cost Engineering, 6th edition, issued by AACE International again. This is one of the core knowledge bases issued by AACE International for preparation of certified cost professional certification. Not whole book is useful when it's come to planning and scheduling PSP certification preparation. However, section 3 and section 4, section 3 which is planning and scheduling, and section 4 progress and cost control are highly recommended for these two sections are highly recommended for PSP preparation. And the resources recommended by AACE International is total cost framework, our TCM framework. We talked about this in a moment before. This work is a good reference book. TCM framework is an integrated process or methodology for portfolio, program, and project management. This document elaborate AACE International total cost management recommended framework. However, if we limit our objective for PSP certification preparation and passing, then in my opinion this book is little above the certification requirements set by PSP certification. Therefore, referring to this book is not something that I would recommend. AACE recommends one more book, and which is one of the best book on planning and scheduling using critical path method, that is CPM in construction management by James and Frederick. This is indeed a very good book. In my opinion, all the planning and scheduling professionals should own this book. As far as PSP certification preparation goes, using this book can fetch you real advantage both in terms of achieving PSP certification and knowledge gain. However, note that this book is quite a this much thick book, and in order to cover the book from cover to cover, you are going to spend a month's time or so. There are a couple of more book recommendation by AACE International. However, books and references we mentioned so far are enough for PSP certification. ProTrain PSP course is complete enough for you to cover all the topics in order to prepare and pass the certification. With this, we complete this section on PSP resources. In the next section, we'll talk about how to do recertification. Unlike your college or university examination, where after passing the exam, we hold our degree forever, AACE certification need to be renewed after every 3 years. There are two ways to renew the certification. First is recertification by examination, and second is recertification by CEUs or continued education unit. Recertification by examination options require the certificant to take and pass the exam again. Needless to say that recertification by exam is more painful process. You need to redo the whole certification thing again. So everyone chooses to go for second option, that is CEUs or continued education unit option. In this option, we need to demonstrate AACE International that we are continuously doing our professional development. Choosing this option required that the accumulation of 12 CEUs over 3-year certification period. CEU can be earned through various activities of under 4 separate categories, and these categories are: number 1, category A, performed; category B, professional development; category C, industry contribution; category D, volunteer services. For more detail, you can have a look on recertification program handbook available on AACE website. The main takeaway is that you need to do recertification every 3 years. With this, we come to end of continuing the certification section. In the next section, we'll talk about frequently asked questions about PSP certification. We have been into PSP certification training for several years. We came across several questions from our students. Let me quickly walk through the most common question students ask about PSP certification. The first question is, does AACE International or any other publication provides battery of PSP practice questions? The answer is, unlike PMI certifications like PMP, where we have abundant practice question available on net and prep books, we don't have such option available for PSP certification. There are several practice questions available in PSP study guide issued by AACE International. In ProTrain's PSP review course, we have added as many as 400 practice questions which are enough for you to practice for PSP exam. Another frequently asked question is about memo question. People always ask, we want to know more about the memo question. Let us understand the objective of the memo question. In some time before we talk about the statement which was setting rule or ground or setting bar for PSP certification, in that there was a statement that the PSP candidate should be able to communicate the internal and external stakeholder on topic of project planning and scheduling. This statement sets the ground for memo question. The objective of memo question is to test candidate written communication skill. In the memo question, you will be given a project situation related to scheduling problem and you will be asked to make solution recommendation in form of memo. In ProTrain's PSP review course, we have added comprehensive video explaining how to write PSP memo and sample memo question in order for you to prepare for the memo question in the real exam. Let me important one point here that you need to remember your AACE ID at the time of taking exam, because in the memo question you will be asked to enter AACE ID while answering the memo, not write your name. Other question is, am I allowed to use scientific programmer or financial calculator? The answer is yes, you can carry scientific or programmable calculator. As such, there is no need of financial calculator because there are no financial calculations questions are asked in the exam. However, when it comes to calculator, remember to carry the calculator which you are using it. I mean, the calculator which you use to practice the exam. Don't take a new calculator or buy a new calculator just for day for taking the exam, because you will finding it difficult because your fingers and your eyes will not be used to of the new calculator. It will reduce your speed in solving the problem. Another question is, can I take break during the examination? Yes, you can take break during the examination. However, it is not recommended to take frequent break because the clock will continue to tick. Therefore, we recommend that you make yourself prepared to sit for 5 long hours and practice the same at the time of doing the preparation for PSP certification. And the frequently asked question is, can I reschedule the exam? And candidates are time and again required to reschedule the exam. The answer to this question is yes. You can log on to the criteria or web assessors test taker profile and you reschedule the exam to new date, time or location if desired with no additional cost. If you reschedule the exam after 24 hours prior to the original scheduled exam, rescheduling shall be deemed as a charge of receipt fee shall apply. This means that if you want to reschedule the exam for free, you must reschedule the exam 72 hours, means 3 days before the originally scheduled exam date and time. Other question is, what if I fail the exam? If you fail the exam, you may resit the exam within 6 months of your clearance date. the receipt fee of $5,200 shall be applied. If you plan to retake the exam after 6 months of the clearance date, then you have to redo the whole process and pay the full fee. Note that these fee changes time to time, therefore we recommend you to visit AACE International website for relevant detail on failing and resitting the exam and rescheduling the exam. Having said that, we have prepared and created the content for our PSP certification course at Protein in such a way that if you complete the course, and you have good experience and skills on planning and scheduling, there are fair probability that the resitting, retaking and failing situation will not come. That's all we had on PSP certification. Thank you very much for watching this video. Hope this video is helpful and you have now very good understanding on how to prepare for PSP certification exam. For more information on PSP certification and if you want to subscribe to our PSP review course, please do visit protrain.com. Bye bye and have a nice time till then.